Well, one of my favorite filmmakers is the original documentary director, Robert Flaherty, and has made Nanook of the North and Louisiana Story and some other great documentaries. And he was making documentaries before there was such a term as documentary. He was just telling a story. And that was really inspiring. His wife and he were partners, and she would write about his experiences. If you ever have a chance to look up her writings about his filmmaking process, it's very enlightening. And she was very eloquent, and she said his one word for his process or his style was non-preconception. And I thought non-preconception is it right?
For me, I think the reason I became a filmmaker was because of the impact that movies can have on people. You know, I think my favorite movie of all time probably has to be Boys in the Hood, and that's because that's the movie that made me want to be a filmmaker, because that was the first time that I'd seen a film that really, I guess I was 11 when it came out, but you know, I grew up in those neighborhoods, you know, in those situations, and to see that on screen and to see the power that it had on people, the power that it had for people who were living in those circumstances, who at least for a moment began to question why they were doing whatever it is that they were doing. I said, I want to make movies like that. And so when I'm writing things, I am thinking about the characters, but I have to be honest, I'm also thinking about the impact that the film is going to have on the people that watch it, because a lot of us don't read, right? But we will watch TV and we will go to the movies. And if I can reach you there in the movie theater, then that's what I want to do. And so I'll own up to activists.
You touched on this a little bit when you mentioned Tug, was it?
Oh, yeah.
But I was wondering if any of you guys had any experience, besides film festivals, besides online distribution, have you guys had any experience getting your films in small-scale theater runs or in local communities, like on your own, like negotiating it on your own outside of distributors?
I've not had any theatrical runs yet because it's my first feature and we just premiered it 3 weeks ago. But what I have had success with the shorts is TV. I've screened on like HBO and on Showtime and on PBS, and I found a way that every time I make a short to, you know, find a way on cable, which it doesn't pay, you know, a lot, but it pays okay, you know, and quite honestly, even beyond the pay, I think beyond film festivals, that's probably the only way your short film is going to be seen, because there's not a market for short films in the theater here in the States. And so trying to get reach those television avenues is probably the best way to get shorts out. With Wolf, of course, we want theatrical distribution, so we're still trying to figure out how that's going to work. We've had a few bites from some bigger companies. We're still waiting to hear back, but you know, we'll see.
We four-walled the Limley Sunset in LA for Special Dead. We four-walled it for a week, and we four-walled 2 theaters, one in Oxford and one in Jackson, Mississippi, for where I began. Again, the movie was shot in Mississippi, so you know, especially we had that capability of advertising, like here's a Mississippi movie that was made in Mississippi, so they were easygoing on letting us four-wall and let it run for a week. So you know, if you're shooting an Arkansas movie, I'm sure there's some smaller theaters or some places in Arkansas that would probably be willing to let you do that, and they're going to take a cut, and then you'll get a cut, but they make most of their money off concessions anyway. But you're going to find it easier to do in smaller, in the southern states. It's a little bit more expensive to do in places like New York and LA and Miami. But it does work, and I've had 2 successful runs at it, you know, getting the people to get out there and watch it.
Because of my connections to public television, I said to Michelle, well, why don't you go talk to the executive producer, and she'll give you some tips to get it ready. And of course, if you're doing PBS, it's 26 minutes, 46 seconds, period. You don't get to make a 41-minute movie and get it on PBS. And we've been able to get a number of films on PBS, and our executive producer has been very, very good at getting them from our statewide PBS system onto PBS nationally. And public television doesn't pay much. In fact, sometimes it doesn't pay at all. I think a lot of that money has gone to one or two filmmakers who had long runs making movies. I won't say who it is, but making movies about the Civil War and stuff. And I think he took all the money. But yeah, but anyway, that is another place to go, because local television stations, local PBS stations always have space that they need to fill, and the audiences are surprisingly bigger than you would think in general. Certainly in Arkansas, we have really strong audiences, and in fact, the movies that I told you about that we gave the grants for, I've already talked to them about, you know, once we premiere it and it has a little bit of a theatrical run in the region or whatever, that we might get it on PBS. And there's a lot of filmmakers have done one or two things on PBS and then gone on to bigger things. So that's another avenue. Yes, ma'am.
This kind of runs parallel to your question earlier. How do you stay true to yourself?
It just is just personal conviction, I guess. It just depends on who you are and what it is you want to do. Some people, you know, I don't know when this was, maybe 10 years ago or something. M. Night Shyamalan was this huge filmmaker, and I read an interview with him, and he said, I'm just lucky that my taste happens to be what the masses like. He said, I'm making the exact movies I want to make. And I remember being struck by that. And so far, I would say I am too. And if you can, and it's not just a selfish thing. As I appreciate what you were saying about making films that are going to affect people. I feel this is part of what I want to do. Is I want to make movies that are going to affect people the way that I've been affected by certain films. And I mean, to me, that's, you know, that's the only reason to do this, is to do it according to what it originally inspired you. You know, I don't understand spending all your time and energy trying to please other people.
Asking yourself, why are you doing it? If it's about the money, then you will sell out really quickly. You will make those blockbusters, continue to make those films that don't affect you, that don't affect anyone. I'm not saying that all blockbusters don't. I'm just saying that, you know, you will sort of sell out really quickly, because for you it's about the money. But if you go back, like you're saying, if you go back to the reason why you started to do it in the first place, for me, like I say, I've always made films to affect people, and that's why, look, I love my teaching job, because it allows me to make the films that I want to make and still be able to pay my bills, right? If they hit, that's going to be awesome, because then I'll be able to make those films full time, which I know I will be able to one day. I will be able to make the films that I love full time one day. But right now, I can teach and still write the films that I want to write, make the films that I want to make, write films that I'm passionate about, films that touch me, films that I feel will touch others. Because for me, it's not about the money. It's really, truly about what the art can do for the world. And I think that as artists, we have to ask ourselves, constantly keep asking ourselves, why are we doing this? Is it for the cash? And I know this is a business, so I'm not knocking that. You do what you got to do. But is it for the cash, strictly for the cash? Or is it for the impact that your work can have on people? And I think for as long as, I know for me, as long as I can, it's going to be about the impact that my work can have on people. Because I don't have anything to lose right now. You know what I mean? I have nothing to lose. So why not continue to just stay true to me and make the films that I know I respond to, and make the films that I feel other people will respond to.
But you guys, this is the sort of thing, I'll tell you, that this we will be able to show to students, we'll be able to show to other filmmakers who have questions, and I think, and it's hard to think about it when you're just going off the cuff, but what you've created is going to be a very, very valuable guide for the filmmakers that we talk to and who have questions and want to know about raising money or want to know about casting. And now we've got the answers for them, or at least we can get them pointed in the right way. And so I really, really appreciate all four of you. I know that there are a lot of other things you could be doing besides sitting here. I could tell Zach was getting a little tired with the questions after a while. And I kind of understood that. But thank you guys very much. First film's at 12:30.